What's up guys, Dragonheir here, and today we'll continue with the bosses in the Continental Challenge, and this time we will go with Irzillas, I don't know, but what I know is that I do have two teams for you, and one of them is 100% free to play. How much damage it does? Well, let's find out together in the video, so let's go right into it.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go.
Alright guys, welcome to the Continental Challenge. First we'll go with Irzillas' mechanics and his skills, and after that I will show you the team. So let's see. Each time an ally ultimate skill hits an enemy, the next cast of their ultimate skill deals 10% more damage. Okay, so you want to cast more, really frequently to get most out of this. And for each negative effect on the boss, their damage dealt decreased by 10%, up to 5 negative effects counted. Okay, and each hero can be deployed once per round. Perfect. So that's the mechanics of Irzillas. Now let's go over his skills, what he does. So let's go to information. So, on his passive, each time an ally's undead summoned unit dies, there is 100% chance to summon one skeleton where the undead summoned unit dies. Skeletons summoned by this skill will not trigger the same effect again. Okay, so he will summon a lot of skeletons. Then on his battle skill, summon 2 skeletons dealing necrotic damage to enemies within range. For each ally undead summoned unit on the field, the skill damage increased by 30%. Okay, so the more undeads are on the field, the more damage this will do. It is this 3x3 area of effect. And on his ultimate, he deals necrotic damage to all enemies and inflicts an attack penalty 2 for 10 seconds, summons skeletons near the targets, and then grants 20% attack up and 30% damage up to the hero and all summoned units for 10 seconds. Up to 2 skeletons can be summoned upon each skill cast. Okay, so he will do a lot of casting and then he will do a lot of boosting to his skeletons. And attack penalty. So you want someone who does debuff immunity or cleansing. Okay, so very simple. So that's the skills and mechanics. And now let me show you my team. I will start with the 100% free-to-play team first. So I'm using Alpha Narsi, a free legendary hero from Season 2. Then Gillian, another legendary hero that's free in Season 2. I do have them scrolled, but I think it will work even without them being scrolled. And then for my damage, I'm using 3 epic heroes. I'm using Dorguras, because he does a lot of ultimate boosting. And then I'm using Grava for the debuff, and she can do a lot of damage as well, you will see. And then Vedimir for crazy amount of damage. This guy is insanely good for this dungeon. So let me show you how I have them built first, and then we'll do the run. So let me start with Alpha Narsi. He's built with 85k HP, 3.1k defense, and 245 enlightenment. You want some enlightenment because of his shielding on his ultimate. On the gear, I'm using the Brotherhood Spirit. It gives me defense, and when the Weaver casts an ultimate skill, all allies elemental damage increased by 15% for 10 seconds. So this way he will boost my team. And I'm using Devout Prayer on him, because when the Weaver grants a shield, the target deals 12% more damage for 10 seconds, and he does a lot of shielding on his ultimate. He covers a whole map. He grants 15% max HP plus 3.6k enlightenment shield to everybody. So he's really good. Now, and for the mythical artifact, or for the artifact, I'm using the Aurelium Vest, because shield granted by the Weaver to D2 and ally also reduce the damage done to him by 17.5%. So everybody that has shield from him will receive less damage. You can use Aurelium Vest, or you can use something like Antiara's Tiara, this crown, I can't pronounce it, because it gives me defense, enlightenment, and the Weaver grants up to 15% more shield, really good on him as well. So this is the legendary option, and this is the mythical option. And now let's go over Gillian. So my Gillian, she has 73k HP, 3.2k defense, and 304 enlightenment, and 19 skill haste. And I'm using the Ancestor Protection on her for the HP, defense, and decrease the Weaver damage taken by 10%, while 15% of other allies' damage taken is transferred to her. So this way she will boost my survivability. And for the artifact, I'm using the Solar King Horn, because when the Weaver heals an ally, increase the ally damage by up to 5%, for 10 seconds, up to 3 stacks. So this can be additional 15% attack. Really good. So that's the mythical option. For the legendary option, I would say something like the Mirror of the Living, pretty good. Or you can use something like the Gatekeeper Staff, I believe. That one that the healing, the excess healing is converted to shielding. But, you already have Alpha Narsi for shielding, so I think the Solar King might be the best option for her, for this team. And now let's go to my damage. So let's start with Dorguras. I don't know if I pronounce it correctly, but I have him built with 43k HP almost, almost 1400 defense, and then almost 6k attack. I'm using the accuracy on him as well, so 237 accuracy because I want to land some frost debuff on the enemy. I'm using the Puppeteer Inspiration, gives me accuracy, resistance, and when the Weaver casts an ultimate skill, allies of the same element gain 10% ultimate energy. So this way he will boost the ultimate energy of everybody. This is amazing on him because I think it's on his ultimate. No, this is butter skill. Yeah, on his butter skill. So he does 280% attack, cold damage to enemies within range with 75% chance on hitting frost for 5 seconds. And then he recharges ultimate energy by 25%. So he will boost his ultimate energy by 25%, which means he will cast his ultimate much more frequently. And this way he will proc the Puppeteer Inspiration, right? So this way he will boost my team even more. So really, really good hero for this gear set, I would say. For the artifact, I'm using the Dawnpipe Organ to boost my other DPS heroes, right? Range heroes in the team gain 10% of the Weaver attack. It gives me attack and attack percentage. Very, very good for these type of heroes that you want to boost the other ones, right? Now, let's go over Rava. So my Rava has almost 5k HP, 1.6k defense, 4.5k attack, and 322 accuracy. I was focusing a lot of accuracy and a lot of attack because she can do some decent damage, you will see. For the gear, I'm using the Emissary Whisper. Accuracy plus 40, skill haste plus 20, and when the Weaver successfully inflict a debuff, all allies deal 10% more damage for 10 seconds, and she will do a lot of debuffing, because on her ultimate she can put Frost, and I also have the Witch Remains on her, which gives me defense penalty, right? And her ultimate is a Vortex, that's in the area for 10 seconds and does continuously damage. So she will apply a lot of debuffs, so very good hero for the Emissary Whisper. And for the for the mythical gear, I'm actually using this 3D Unprepared, because the Weaver does 3% increased damage to enemies under defense penalty, which she will always put on her ultimate, right? So whenever she puts ultimate, she puts the defense penalty on them, and the ultimate stays, right, for the 10 seconds. So this way she will do even more damage, you will see. Plus these gloves, I have attack percentage, and it's +1 gear, so very, very good for her. And for any kind of DPS, right? If you are not focusing on crit rate and crit damage. So I found a use for these type of gloves. And now let's go over Vidimir, the best DPS in my team. And he has 48k HP, 1.3k defense, 4.2k attack, 104% crit rate. It's fine, you only need 100% crit rate. And then 260% crit damage. And I'm using the Chaos Symbiosis on him. For each ally of the same school present, the Weaver attack increased by 6%, which there's a lot of heroes that will boost him. Now I'm using the Stridy Unprepared. You know, the 30% increased damage to enemies under defense penalty, and then I'm using the Fearless Challenger. The Weaver deals 16% increased damage to enemies with max HP higher than the hero by 50%. The last one, the Clean Sweep, it's fine, but I'm mostly using for the stats, not for the passive. So when the Weaver ultimate skill recharges complete, dispels all negative effects from the hero. It's decent because Irzillas, this boss, he will put the attack penalty on you. And sometimes, you know, he casts before Gillian puts her ultimate down, which means she will cleanse, right? She dispels 1 debuff from each ally and then grants them defense up to. But Vidimir can do a lot of casting in this dungeon, because on his passive, when enemy inflicted with the Frost dies, gains 25% attack up for 10 seconds and recharge ultimate energy by 15%. And because this boss summons a lot of skeletons, these skeletons will be dying a lot under Frost debuff, which Rava inflicts and Dorguras inflicts as well, which means he will cast very, very often. Which is amazing because you know that every second cast of the ultimate does 10% more damage. So amazing, amazing hero for this dungeon. So that's the team. I don't think I have skill timings, but let's check it. Actually I do, so you see. I have Rava at 14 and Vidimir at 14.5 seconds and then Gillian at 20. I do have Rava at 14 seconds because this boss will cast his butter skill at 9 seconds. He summons 2 skeletons, but he summons them right here in this left corner and right corner, like furthest away from him. So it takes a little bit of time for these skeletons to reach the boss. That's when I want Rava to cast, you know, to put all of them in one place, you know, put the debuff on them. And Vidimir ultimate can bounce, right? So you want these enemies to be really close for the bounce to happen. So if your Vidimir cast immediately, the first ultimate will not bounce. So that's why I have my Vidimir at 14.5 seconds and Rava at 14 seconds to give these skeletons enough time to reach the boss, right? To reach me. So that Vidimir ultimate can bounce. So this way I can squeeze a little bit more damage out of this run. And then Gillian at 20 seconds, because the boss cast the ultimate at 20 seconds, he inflicts me with attack penalty, and I want the Gillian to cleanse it, right? Immediately. Unfortunately, I don't think, yeah, she has the recast, in my case, at 19.5 seconds. But because of the boosting, I think she can cast much often, right? I need her at 18 seconds recast to keep the interval. But it's kind of happening, you will see. Sometimes it can get a little bit out of sync, but that's fine. At least for the beginning, you want her to cleanse. Which is very good why Vidimir has this mythical gear on him, right? The unclean bloodline, because it can cleanse his negative debuffs on him whenever he recharges ultimate. So that's the build, that's the skill timings, and now finally let's go to the run. Also, I'm using the Vidimir attack aura, the 18% attack in all battles. And now let's go finally into it. I will speed it up, I will show you just the beginning. And then I will, you see, I'm waiting for the ultimate to bounce, you know? So the ultimate bounce, and Vidimir is already at 100k damage per second. But this number will go much, much higher, you will see. Already, now it's jumped to 200k damage per second. I will slow it down a little bit to 3x, just for like a minute, and then I will bring you back once we are almost at the end. Just for you to see how it works. You see how often he casts. So he's already at 350 plus k damage per second. For epic hero, that's amazing, guys. In my opinion, that's very, very good. As you see, the ultimate bounces a lot. And Dorgora's now cast, inflicts frost debuff, boosts my Vidimir ultimate. Whenever the skeletons die under frost debuff, they boost Vidimir's ultimate, so he will do a lot of casting. But as you see, Rava can do some damage as well. Almost 80k damage per second. Because of this strike the unprepared, right? Now she's doing 30% increased damage to enemies under defense penalty. Which she also inflicts because of the Witch Remains. So that's the mechanics of it. Now I will speed it up and bring you back once we are like 1 minute to the end. Right guys, we are almost at the end. We have 1 minute and 30 seconds left and we are already at 108 million damage. Vidimir is at 350, but he was reaching 400k damage per second. Now it kinda dropped a little bit. But hopefully he will get back to 400k damage per second, you will see. But still, we have 1 minute 15 seconds left, almost 120 million damage. I will speed it up even more. It's just a lot of stuff is happening on the screen. This run, it depends, you can do, there's like 20-30 million damage variation between runs, you will see. So hopefully this one is not that bad, but I don't think it's gonna be the best run I have from the damage that I'm seeing right now. I think the highest damage I reached with this team was around 170 million damage. I think 175, something like that. I hope I save it. I don't know if I saved the highest one, but it was 170 something damage. This one is gonna be like 150, so not the best, but you can definitely do a little bit more out of this team. You know, I had Vidimir before at 400k damage per second. Now it's only at 370 almost, but still 154 million damage. Not the best, not the worst, but I was able to do around 170 million damage with this team. I will do one quick combat, and maybe we will see if that happens. I don't know. So let's go to combat simulation. I can do 1 or 2, and hopefully we can do that 170 million damage. I hope I have the image saved from one of the best runs. And if I have, I will put it on the screen. 161 million damage now, but I think I reached way more. It was 170 something million damage. So I will try to find that image. I will put it on the screen. You will see, so for you that I'm not lying. So this is my free-to-play team. And now let me show you my not so much free-to-play team. So I need to go Irzillas, normal, alright. So this is the not so free-to-play, friendly. So in here I'm using Sagomir, I'm using Catherine, I'm using Filto, Huberg and Alton. And this team can do a lot of damage. It's not the best team, but it's a really good team for this one. The only thing that's kinda bad RNG is Sagomir, his casting of his ultimate. Because he only does, you know, this weird area of effect on his ultimate. So sometimes when there's a lot of summons behind him, he will not hit the boss. So that's the only issue with this team, because you usually want the attack penalty and accuracy penalty on a boss, and he has Witch Remains, so he will inflict defense penalty, which is 3 debuffs, and that means 30% less damage from the boss. So that's the team. Now let me show you how everything built. So let's start with Sagomir. Almost 120k HP and 2.4k defense and 352 accuracy. I am using the Tundra Tenacity for the HP accuracy, and the Witchbird gains 1% ultimate energy each time taking damage. And I want him to cast a lot, because I want this guy to hit the boss. So he will cast his ultimate like twice before the boss cast. So there's decent chance of him hitting the boss, right? So inflict the attack penalty and accuracy penalty and a defense penalty from Witch Remains, which I'm using on him. For the mythical gear, I'm using the Clean Swap. When the Weaver's ultimate skill recharge, completely dispels all negative effects from the hero. Not the best, not the worst. I'm just using it because it has HP percentage and it's a +1 gear, so that's probably why I'm using it, not because of the passive. Now, let's go over Catherine. So my Catherine has 75k HP almost, 1.7k defense almost, and 246 enlightenment. I'm using the Puppet Inspiration on her for boosting the ultimate, and I'm using the Devout Prayer, even though she doesn't have a shield on her skills, right? Actually, she does. When the ally's HP is fully restored, 50% overflowing healing from the hero is converted into shield for 10 seconds. So this way, she can place shield, and also on her talents, the tier 4 talent, if you go with Enhanced Protection, after every 2 healing skill cast, next healing grants the target a shield equal to the hero's 10% max HP for 10 seconds. So that's why I'm using the Devout Prayer on her, because I can get some shielding from her, even though she doesn't have it on her battle skill on her ultimate. And for the artifact, I'm using the Soul Killing Horns on her. Once again, you can use something like the Mirror of the Living or something else. Maybe, Luminary Gospel Order, or you can go with the Gatekeeper Staff for more shielding, something like that. Maybe the Gatekeeper Staff might be even better on her. Now, let's go with Filter. So my Filter has 37k HP, 1.4k defense, 6.4k attack, only 93% kid rate. I wish it's 100%. It's really close, but I wasn't able to get it. And then 148% crit damage. And I'm using 2 pieces of the Forbidden Aegis for the attack and crit rate, and then 2 pieces of the Abyssal Curse, because my mythical gear is not that good for him. So I'm not able to reach a lot of crit rate and crit damage and not attack. So that's why I'm using 2 pieces of legendary gear to gain as much attack as possible. And for the artifact, I'm using the Eyeball of the Giant, because my Whisper of the Consumer is used on Hurberg. Or maybe I can use something like Arcane Music Box, right? But I don't have a reliable shielding in here. So that's why I decided to go with the Eyeball of the Giant on him. Now let's go over Alton. So my Alton has 43k HP, 2.1k defense, 6.4k attack, and that's pretty much it. And 37 skill haste. I want him to cast quite frequently. For the gear, I'm using the Brotherhood Spirit. For the defense, and when the Weaver casts the ultimate skill, all allies' elemental damage increased by 15% for 10 seconds. So very good. That's why I want him to cast very frequently. And I want a lot of attack. So I'm focusing on attack percentage gear because of my artifact. I'm using the Dawnpipe Organ. The range heroes in the team gain 10% of the Weaver attacks, which means Filter and Hurberg will gain a lot of attack from him. And also his ultimate very good. He boosts your damage, right? He puts these Arden, and each stack increase damage dealt by 8%, up to 5 stacks. So the more he casts, the better your team, or the more damage your team will do. So that's my Alton. And finally my Hurberg. He has almost 50k HP, or 49k HP, 1.5k defense, 5.2k attack, 85% crit rate. Once again, I wish is 100%, but I'm not able to get there yet. And then almost 260 crit damage. For the gear, I'm using the Forbidden Aegis. When casting a battle skill or ultimate skill, the Weaver deals 6% more damage for 10 seconds, up to 4 stacks. And for the mythical gear, I'm using Strangely I Prepare. The Weaver deals 3% increased damage to enemies under defense penalty. And once again, for the artifact, I'm using the Whisper of the Consumer. But maybe you can use something else. I'm not sure if this is the best, but I'm using it and it does decent damage, so I'm sticking with it. Maybe I will do a little bit more testing and let you know down below in the comment section if any artifact is better than this. Or maybe you can let me know if you're using something similar. So that's the team. I will show you the skill timings. I don't think I have any on this. I only have Catherine at 12 and 18. I don't know if it's possible because on her recast it's 19.1 seconds, but there is the Puppet Inspiration. I don't know if that's enough for her to be at 18 seconds, but that's what I'm trying to reach, right? Because I want her buff prohibition to be on my heroes before the boss does this one, right? The ultimate, the attack penalty. Because I don't want the attack penalty on my heroes. So that's the skill timings, that's the team. And now let's go to the run. For the aura, I'm using Alton, increase crit damage by 25%. Because that's the only aura I have in this team. So that's something that can be improved. But yeah, so that's the team. So let's go. So we will start with this Sagomir. Inflict attack penalty, accuracy penalty. Unfortunately, he didn't hit the defense penalty because he only does like 1 or 2 hits on his ultimate, so he's not the most reliable, hero for the Which Remains. But he's the only hero that I kind of have in this team for, putting down this debuff, right, on his ultimate. So maybe there is something that could fit this team better, but is what I'm using right now. And this team can do quite a bit of damage, you will see. So Filto and Huberg are already at 200k damage per second. Now Huberg is at 300k damage per second. And it will get even better. You will see. So I will skip ahead for the 1 minute before the end. And you will see the damage this team can do. Alright guys, so we have minute and 30 seconds left. And we already do 140 million damage. The only issue with this team is the RNG. You really need your Sagomir to hit the boss. So he has at least 2 or 3 debuffs on him. Plus the attack penalty. It didn't happen here. As you see, my team died at 151 million damage at the end. So there's 1 minute, of the damage gone. So I will do a rerun for this. This can happen. This is the only issue with this team, right? Like, it's a little bit RNG based. You need a little bit more survivability. So I will do a rerun. Maybe we can do a quick combat with this team. And I will show you the better results. Because 150, that's really bad for this team. This team can do way more. So let's go to the quick combat. If that doesn't happen, I will do another rerun normally and see if something happens. Because with this team, I was able to reach, I think, 200 million damage and 194 million damage. 172, not the best, because once again, they died at the end. This team can reach the final, the 5 minute mark. I don't know why it's not reaching to right now. I mean, I know it's RNG, but still, it should be better. Come on, reach it now. Yeah, 200 million damage, as you see. Still, 4 minutes and 50 seconds, and it reached 200 million damage. So the only issue with this team is the RNG. So, if you know any kind of improvements for this type of team, let me know. Because I'm a little bit struggling on this boss, to reach like 220, 240 million damage. But I think, reaching 200 million damage, that's the goal. And this team can do it. I know it's not the easiest team to build, but still, they can kind of reliably do it, right? They just need a couple of reruns. The reason why I was using this team is because of the Huberg. Because he can do, his ultimate. The more he casts his ultimate, the stronger it will get, right? Summons free energy orb to strike enemies within range, dealing 100% attack radiant damage each time. And when this skill is cast again, summon 1 additional orb up to 7 orbs, right? So that's why I was thinking about this team. The more he casts his ultimate, the stronger he will get. Plus, every second cast of this ultimate will be boosted, right? So that's why I was using Huberg and I built a team around him for this dungeon. I'm not sure if that's the best thing to do for this boss, but it's kind of working, right? I'm able to reach 200 million damage. If you have any idea of like better teams or like who really shines in this dungeon, definitely let me know down below in the comment section. I will give it a try. So those were my 2 teams for this boss. I hope you found this video helpful and enjoyable. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know down below in the comment section. Who is your easiest boss? Like which boss you do the most damage and what type of teams are you using? And once again, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!